Hello and welcome back to Lone Wolf. Now that the enemies have been slain, you are free to approach Leandra's door once more. You stop to retrieve her crossbow from the floor where the frightened geek dropped it, and you hook it onto the back of your belt. As you draw closer to the door, you hear a faint coughing sound. It is a rasping human cough. Leandra is clearly in great discomfort. Okay, let's pick the door. We've always been pretty good with our lockpicks in the past. It's always been a very effective way of getting through these things. Even if we are running out of picks. Nope. Nope. Damn it. Obviously going the other way. Nope. Damn it. Okay, we're running out of picks now. This could be an issue. Okay, it wasn't an issue. We're still running out of picks, though. The lock is difficult to pick, but with a little time, concentration, and consummate skill, you achieve the task. The moment you hear the lock disengage, you raise to your feet and push open the door. The moment you enter the chamber beyond, you are assailed by a powerful and chilling blast of freezing cold wind. An archway in the far wall is open to the elements, and the ferocity of the storm whips through this chamber unchecked, caking the floor and walls with a thin layer of ice. Leandra is slumped against the wall, and she does not look well at all. Her clothes are torn, and her pale skin is bruised and lacerated. She had suffered terribly by the cruel skeleton hands of the Vordok captor. What led to this? Did she collaborate with the enemy because of it? You know how treacherous the agents of the Dark Lords can be. Maybe Leandra had something different in mind and did not see this coming. As you get near, Leandra's eyes flicker open. Because of her suffering, and the ice that clings to her face, you cannot read her expression. "Lone Wolf," she rasps, her voice barely audible above the howl of the wind. You kneel by her side and cradle her in your arms. The warmth of your body comforts and revives her. I heard the fighting outside and I knew it had to be, but I... Easy now, you say, reaching to your belt and unclasping your water skin. Flicking open its lid with your thumb, you bring it to her trembling lips. Guilty or not, you have to help her, but you must also find out more about what's happened here. She takes a little of the tepid water in her mouth and swallows it with difficulty. The liquid tastes like nectar to her. She's badly dehydrated, and she swallows another mouthful as it soothes her parched throat. Her eyes become brighter as she quenches her raging thirst, and slowly her strength returns. Sorry, that was making me really thirsty. There we go. The storm recedes with the approach of dawn, and she holds you in her eyes, and with a look you sense that she needs to tell you something. You return her gaze, willing her to speak. When I got here, they did not trust me. She speaks with a feeble yet urgent tone. But I had to make sure they would, if I was going to be allowed to live. I had to prove that I was worth sparing. I said the prototype was useless without me, that only I knew how to control its energies. If they killed me, the prototype would become unstable. It would destroy Vatang and everything in it, including every last one of them. Gunzar suspected I was bluffing, but he dared not take the chance that I could be telling the truth. He had me placed in this chamber and put in charge that dreadful creature, that Vordok. He tortured me, but I didn't break. And it tortured my mind. Her eyes wander erratically for a moment, and you watch as she strives to regain her focus to continue her harrowing account of what comes next. It got inside my mind. I never felt such pain before. I saw my innermost thoughts, my memories, my doubts, my deepest fears. I rejoiced when it discovered the resentment I had for you, for not arriving in time to prevent Gunzar's attack on my village and kinfolk. Leandra stops speaking. Instinctively, you are moved by her pain, but you urge her to continue, no matter how difficult it may be. It takes her some time before she finds the will to speak again. The Vordok took my resentment and played upon it. It made me hate you. It was like a disease that planted inside my head and began eating into my mind. The fiend was determined to corrupt my true feelings, to enslave me. I was being made to think like them. I was being made to hate you, hate myself, hate everything I am and never was. Her words are difficult for you to bear. Did she succumb to the Vordok's willful and evil violation of her mind? Or was she already minded to betray you and everything else that she had ever held dear? Her father, her kinsfolk, her country? Or was she already committed to helping the enemy long before she came here, and aid them in the fulfillment of their evil schemes, that would ultimately doom Sommerlund to destruction? Is she the victim of her own misguided genius and our ambition, despite the grief it has caused? Or has she been a traitor all along? What the hell was she trying to do? She has never shown any real trust in you, never listened to you or obeyed you. Even when you were trying hard to save her life, why should you believe her now? What were you so desperate to conceive of? What was you desperate to conceive of, Leandra? You try hard to mask it. There is a tinge of bitterness in your voice. She recognizes it once and it hits her like a clenched fist. What in the name of Ishar were you really up to? Please, tell me the truth. Why did you come to Vatag? As harsh as it may sound, you do not attempt to mask your doubts and suspicions. Was it truly your insane need to retrieve your prototype that made you come here? Was that the only reason you decided to help me when I arrived in Rockstar? Leandra shakes her head and exhales with desperation. I knew you'd never understand. Can't you see? Can't you understand the tiniest part of what I am and what I really feel? It's because of you that I finally come to realize that my need to create and my thirst for knowledge has consequences. My experiments, my mechanical invention of the prototype. I want these things to bring about only good things for everyone in Summerland. Everything I've done has gone wrong and put everyone in danger. She turns her head away and begins to sob. A solitary tear trickles down her cheek and splashes onto your hand. Everyone that's died, their blood is on my hands. Her words challenge your doubts and soften your view. You sense that her remorse is genuine and sincere. They're afraid to admit the truth, she says, trying hard to control her emotions. Even though I've suspected it ever since the attack on my village. In the Shanti tunnels I had it proven beyond doubt. I can no longer deny it. I am responsible for everything that's happened. The attack on Rockstar, the death of so many innocent people, all of the dangers you've faced since your arrival in the village. How can that be? You reply, trying to set aside your lingering suspicions. You didn't make Gunzar raid your village, Leandra. No, not deliberately. But I may as well have drawn him a map and sent him an invitation. She is consumed with remorse. My prototype, my wonderful device, my great invention, my foolish pride. The prototype contains and radiates the same energy as your Shanti cube. Its source of power is identical, and the sorcerers of Helgadad had been studying it as I had. They knew what it meant and how to recognize it, and my prototype was a bright beacon for them to follow. Slowly she raises a tear-stained face and holds you with her bloodshot eyes, and they are filled with pain and regret. Gunzar and the Vordark, they sense its presence in Rockstar. The Vordark that tortured me revealed it to me. It's the only reason they raided Rockstar. They wanted it for themselves. At the same time, they couldn't know exactly what to look for or where. So they came and they massacred the whole village and took everything they could lay their filthy hands on. Her body falls limp in your arms and she begins to sob uncontrollably. Everyone here is dead because of me. I had to come here. I had to make things right again. You draw her closer and try to comfort her as best you can. You can no longer bring yourself to believe that she is a traitor to her people and to your homeland. You said that you had to convince the Vordark, you say in a soothing voice you can muster. Convince it of what? They were looking for me, remember? That Vordark could boast as much as it wanted, but it hadn't been able to crack the secrets of the prototype on its own. I wanted them all to believe that I would assist them, but the truth is, I had no intention of ever helping at all. In fact, the opposite was true. I'd made up my mind to destroy them with it. I knew so long as my real intention was kept secret from them, they'd not run the risk of killing me, only have it go out of control and lay everything to waste. And did they let you have the prototype, you say? They let me work on it for an hour or so, but the Vordark watched me closely and I was unable to fix it so it would overload. She wipes away her tears on the shredded sleeve of her jacket and forces herself to smile. And then she looks you squarely in the eye and tilts her head slightly, prompting you to say something. Well, she says, I've done all I can. Now it's your turn. Before you can say anything, Leandra begins to cough and shudder. She closes her eyes for a few moments and tries to maintain her composure. I knew you were in Vatag. Everyone knew. The news of the fighting on the lower levels swept through the upper tower like wildfire. I was sure they'd never be able to stop you from finding me. I just had to hold until you got here. And even if you did not, I still had to believe that you would. You are a trained Kai Lord, with Kai disciplines. You're armed with a mighty summer sword. For you to face the perils of this terrible place is an act of duty. Sorry, I'm still doing her voice. You are a trained Kai Lord, with Kai disciplined. You are armed with a mighty summer sword. For you to face the perils of this terrible place is an act of duty. But Leandra? She has fought her own battles, and bravely so, but armed only with her wits and her courage to see her through. She has come as an unexpected surprise to discover that she was prepared to enter the Tang and destroy her precious device rather than permit the enemy to keep it. And she knew full well that she would likely never get out of this tower alive. Remember something that you had overlooked when you first entered this chamber? Look what I found, you say, as you reach around behind your back and slip your hand over your cloak. You unhook her crossbow and pass it to her. She gives a hoarse laugh as she leans forward to take it, and fondly she runs her fingertips over its chipped woodwork and scratched fittings. It's in no better shape than I at the moment, eh? You'll mend, you reply reassuringly, and deep down you're as strong as summer-lending oak, just as resilient. Again she laughs. Despite the discomforts of this icy chamber and the trepidation you feel in anticipation of the fight ahead, you must yet bring to its cruel commander. You cannot help but be impressed by the fortitude of this gifted and brave young woman. Then you hear something that sets your pulse racing. It is the sound of heavy-booted footfalls on the tower roof directly above this chamber. "It's him!" gasps Leandra. "It's Gunzar! I'd know the sound of his footsteps anywhere!" You stand up and steel yourself for the coming battle with the warlord Gunzar. You now know where he is, but you do not know how to reach the roof and confront him. Your eye falls on a door in the far wall that you had not noticed before, and you begin to approach it. Leandra calls out a warning. "No, not that way. That door leads to the Vordog's torture chamber." She shivers at the thought of the pain she endured in this terrible place. You move a little closer to examine the door, but you're brought to an abrupt halt by a wave of fatigue that washes through you like a black tide. You fall to your knees and struggle to regain your strength. Leandra says something, but her anxious words swirl around your head, and you cannot clearly understand what she's saying. You know that you must fight this sudden weakness and confusion, but it is threatening to defeat you before the final combat with Gunzar has even begun. You draw upon your Kai powers and enter into a deep state of meditation. The chamber dissolves around you, and you feel yourself plummeting into a vortex of total darkness. At length the sensation of falling recedes, and you find yourself on your knees in your nightmare once more. Did you think you could defeat us? Did you think you could destroy us? Did you think you could send us away? The dark spectres appear again, moving and speaking in unison. We have always been here. We are the shadow of your light. The Drakkar and his Shanti amulet did not create us. We have always been here, watching and waiting to eclipse you, child of the sun. The spectres coalesce into a chillingly familiar figure that is filled with malevolence. It is the summation of all your doubts and fears, all of the weaknesses and failures that have haunted you since early childhood. Your long and perilous journey to Vatag has forced you to confront your limitations in so many ways, and now the insidious power of the Shanti amulet has brought you face to face with your inner demons. We are strong. The Shade's voices have merged into a single sibilant whisper that snatches your mind. Our time has come. The time has come indeed, you reply, projecting your retort without need to give voice to your words. Defiantly, you rise to your feet in an eager readiness to do battle with this horror that haunts your mind. The time has come to put an end to this. You feel a strong bond with the Black Wolf even now. He's never let me down. This creation, born of your deepest fears and doubts, is a savage opponent, but it is not a primal one. There is nothing within its empty soul that speaks to you on an animal level, and it lacks a vital part of your soul, the ability to empathize and communicate with the primal power of Magna Mund. Even in this dark and dismal place, you are able to maintain your connections to the natural world, and you can feel the bond you share with the Black Wolf of the Durnkrag Mountains. Your friend has come to your aid many times, and even through this place, and even though this place is not a material environment, the kinship you share with the mighty wolf can be used to aid you now. As the Shade rushes in to attack you, a lupine silhouette emerges from the perimeter of your dreamscape and leaps into the fray. You feel every blow that is landed upon this tenacious spirit wolf as he fights your shadow, yet together you know you can overcome it and defeat it. Okay, one last showdown against our own brain. And it's got a honking great mace this time. Okay, I think I probably need to lead with a healing spell. probably can't make him bleed. Nope. Alright, let's lead with one of these. We are so close to mastering this spell. It's probably going to take 2 more uses of it. How come I'm bleeding? Oh, don't tell me the bleed effect affected me instead of him. Yeah, so that's some grade A what the hell right there. Okay, can we stun him? Yes, we can. Good. And then I'm going to have to drink a potion. I know it's going to heal him as well, but nowhere near as much as it heals me. That's the important thing. Okay. Good. Okay, we're almost equal in health now. Unfortunately, I can't use any potions at the moment, nor can I. But I can do that to him. Doesn't do much damage, but it does reduce his ability to attack significantly. I can combine that with some turtling. Great. He's using his own healing spell. Fully healed him, but it fully healed me as well, so... Yeah, we're God, you like that bloody move, don't you, matey? That one is real. Nope. That was a guess. We're into that one then. Or it's very unlikely to be the middle one twice, I would have thought. Yeah, good. Correct target. Didn't actually think it was going to work, but it was worth trying. Good. Still find it weird that my own shadow's got a lot more health than I do. Get him, Mr. Snuggles. Good hits. Now, once again, he's calling in his mates. Okay, I'm liking that one for the real one. Nope. Oh, wait, it's got to be the one who's still on fire. Damn it. An idiot. Didn't even think of that. And, yeah, good. Can use that as an indicator. Now that I've realised that, i.e. now that I've stopped being an idiot, I'm gonna have to drink a potion. Oh great, he's drinking a bloody potion. Well, at least now I don't have to. I'm running out of bloomin' explosive bolts. Damn it, slightly too early on that. I need to hit him with a stun. How much is that? 650. Okay, I've got the time to... Okay, I'm looking for the one with the damaged armor. That one. Still want to wait until I can stun him. Come on. There we go. Stun him. Good. Okay, now let's quaff this potion. have done that because that broke the stun. Still, sword's almost ready to use again. Set him on fire again to make it more obvious. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Snuggles. You were most helpful. It's still the one in the middle. Well, let's hit him with a sequence. Okay, he's now got less health than I have, so if I can finish him this turn, then I win. Don't have much mana left, but enough for a healing. Well, I don't actually have the mana for a healing spell, but I've got. Oh, bollocks. Do I have a mana potion I can drink? Oh, god damn it. What the hell was that potion? I'm gonna stun him. And I'm gonna wait. Because I need to recharge on my mana potions. So I can drink them, cast a healing spell. God, he's really overfond of doing that. Oh yes, yes. Right. It's this one who's the target. That's injured him very badly. I'm not in good shape. But he is dead. Ho ho! God, those fights are tricky. Tell me I'm going to get my health back again, right? Because going into this final fight with the final boss, which I'm assuming will probably be the next battle, with your climactic blow, the Shade falls to its knees and cowers in defeat. It is unarmed, its weapon vanishing from sight. The Shade's dark outline begins to dissolve and fade back into the swirling maelstrom of your emotions and inner fears from whence it came. You say nothing as you watch your defeated enemy being consumed by its own darkness. You feel no hatred or triumph over it. You accept the Shade for what it is, an integral part of your inner self. The amulet's insidious hold over you has finally been broken, and the grip it had maintained on your mind has shattered. The Nightmare Monastery rapidly recedes and is replaced by the icy walls of the chamber in Vatag. You emerge from your trance to find yourself looking directly into Leandra's anxious eyes. She reaches out to help you stand up, but your strength has fully returned and you are able to rise to your feet with ease. You feel refreshed and restored, both in mind and body. Defeating your inner Shade has won you a wholeness that you have not felt for a long time. Not since the massacre of your fellow Kai. However, Leandra is not so fortunate. She's still badly shaken from her dreadful ordeal at the Vordak's hand, and her subsequent confinement in this freezing windlass chamber. You check your weapons and equipment. They have deteriorated as a result of the many fights you have fought and won in Vatag, and you are worried that they may fail you in the final fight with Gunzar. Once more, your gaze falls upon the adjoining door that leads to the Vordak's torture chamber. Here you may find the tools you need to fix your gear before you undertake the final battle. Despite Leandra's protestations, you open the door and step into the room beyond, and you are immediately struck by the unexpected warmth of this chamber. A small forge stands in the far corner, its crimson coals glowing dimly. In the centre of the room there is a large table, its surface stained black with dried blood. Thick leather straps affixed to the four corners of this gruesome furnishing betray the purpose for which it was put there. It is a torture table. On the walls are racked scores of instruments of grim design and ghastly purpose. Tongs, pincers, claws, flails, barbed whips, and many other accoutrements of agony. There are also devices we have never seen before. They are the tools of the Vordak's cruel art, brought here with him all the way from Helgedad, the terrifying city of the Dark Lords. Your stomach churns with fear and revulsion as you cast your eyes upon them. Nauseated by what you see, you turn your head away and towards the forge. The warmth that it radiates is the only comfort to be found in this room, and it is a testament to the pain that Leandra was forced to endure in this terrible place, that she chose to remain in the icy chamber, rather than seek shelter from the cold winds by returning here. Beside the forge stands a workbench that is littered with more common and mundane artifacts. They are blacksmithing tools. There is everything you need here to effect repairs to your weapons and equipment before you face Gunzar in the final battle. Did you find what you were looking for in that dreadful room? Asked Leandra as you leave the torture chamber and close the door behind you. Yes. Now I must make my way up to the roof, he replied. Leandra is clearly in no fit state to accompany you in a final confrontation with Warlord Gunzar. She too is aware of this reality and urges you to go ahead without her. I'll find a place to hide, she says resolutely, looking to the open door by which you first entered the chamber. After you've killed Gunzar, return here for me. I'll be waiting for you. And if I should not return, what will you do then? Unblinkingly, she looks you straight in the eyes and replies, I will try to escape from Vatag by myself. But I prefer that you slay Gunzar quickly and return here to fetch me up and take me home. With a wry smile she adds, After all, you've now got a distressed damsel waiting. It is your sworn duty to save me. Gently, you cup Leandra's fragile hand in yours, and she looks surprised by such a show of affection. A healthy redness returns to her pale cheeks, and her gaze softens, so much that eventually she lowers her eyes coldly. I will return for you. Have no doubts. The High Lord is always true to his word. You nod your head and give her a reassuring smile. She returns yours, despite the pain of her wounds and her weakened state. Then you go with her into the adjoining chamber, away from the freezing cold of this desolate, windswept cell. It has started to snow again, and she needs to be somewhere that she can regain the strength that was robbed from her by the wicked Vordak. You bid her a fond farewell before you take your leave by way of the door through which the geeks have entered and attacked you. A long corridor awaits you beyond, and at the far end you see the bottom of a spiral staircase that ascends out of view. It leads all the way to the top of the dark tower, and with weapon in hand, slowly and resolutely, you commence your climb of the tiled steps, and a smile plays upon your lips. You know you cannot afford to lose your focus now, but you cannot help but think about Leandra. Your masters may not approve of this, but you know that you have something new and something special to fight for. This feeling ignites your resolve and revives your strength, much like the sun that is about to rise over this accursed tower. Well, looking at my timer, we probably don't have time to actually fight the final boss unless it's going to be a hilariously short fight. And to be honest, it'll probably only be hilariously short if I die hilariously quickly, so that to me seems like a pretty good point to end this video. So I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next and most likely final part.